Hey everyone, welcome back to another wrestling review. This is tagged on to the one we had yesterday about the Extreme Rules. This time Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory. Once again, we have Campo.Reviews, not just reviewing TV or movies. He reviews wrestling now too. Look for his stuff in the comment box below. And make sure you follow me on Discord, because if you like the wrestling reviews, if you like the wrestling content, we drop it all there first. Whenever there's a new review, whenever there's a new anything to do with wrestling, we will drop it in the Discord. So make sure you give that a follow. Make sure you tell your friends if they like wrestling, make sure they give this channel a follow, because I'm trying to grow this channel to 250 before the end of the year. I'm not that far away, so I know we can do it. So make sure you go and tell your friends and share this video with your wrestling buddies, because there's a lot more of us out there than we know. With that out of the way, Campo, let's get right into the review of Bound for Glory 2022. You did watch the pre-show, correct?
I did.
Excellent. For once. You watched the same stream I did, I take it then, where it just was everything.
Yeah, all in a row.
So the pre-show match, we had Brian Myers against returning Fandango, going by Dirty Dango now.
I like that, Dirty Dango.
Who doesn't? Fandango. Give me more Fandango.
Give me more of that name.
Fandango.
Dirty Dango.
Dirty Dango.
Dirty Dango.
Dirty Dango. It was a fun match. It was a great little appetizer for the card that came.
Yeah, it was actually a wrestled match.
It was.
Yeah, I had a fun time with this. And I think, like I said earlier, anytime you want to give me Alex Wright and
Disco Inferno
and him in a dance match.
In a dance off, give me that. No Tyrus though. No Funkasaurus.
No Funkasaurus allowed. You can give me Rikishi.
Rikishi, yeah, with Too Cool. Well, no, one of them's dead now, isn't he?
Oh, now they're just two.
Now they're just two. They're literally too cool now.
Too soon.
Too soon. Okay. After that, we had the Raven induction into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame.
I like this a lot. I like this a lot. He's a wrestler with a lot of history.
Mm-hmm.
He has belts all across companies: ECW, WCW, WWE, TNA,
NWA.
Yeah, it's like this is a well-deserved. He deserves more respect than he gets. He's a very good wrestler, and he put up with the mid card for a lot of his career.
Yeah, and who better to induct him than Tommy Dreamer?
Yeah, who after the interview or after his speech got DDT'd, even flowed.
Yes, even flow, the even flow. Great little send off for Raven. I really enjoyed that.
And something here happens that pays off later.
Yes. Next, that's when we get into the main card proper. We kick off the show with Matthew Raywald and former Tom Phillips commentating for. I really enjoy these two commentating together.
This was strong. I didn't expect it to be this good. I remember Slammiversary being a little bit messy at the announce table.
Yeah, because I don't think they worked together that much at that point, but now they've really come into their stride. And I really enjoy Matthew Raywald is that heel commentator, but he doesn't come across as like a jerk or an idiot. He's just like he's like one of those educated assholes that you don't like. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's not cartoonish like WWE.
Yeah, it's not over the top. It's not. Didn't they just get rid of Jimmy Smith now too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're down to just Corey Graves and Michael Cole.
I mean, to be honest, they're better than anything else that they have.
Good point.
But I digress.
Taz.
Yes.
The first match of the night was an X Division Championship match, which was Speedball Mike Bailey, who's a champ, against Kazarian. Great opening match. Like, a lot of good wrestling. Like, this is an X Division is like what the Cruiserweight division was. And this is what you would expect in that kind of a match.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Bailey's a really strong wrestler. Hold on. Continuing. I really like him. Canadian #1.
Yes. I think we may need to redo the Canada Day list.
He's not making the list.
No.
Maybe someone else, Josh Alexander. Is that his name?
Yeah, Josh Alexander.
Okay, I'm not good with names.
Jason Alexander.
Yeah, I could have said any. Could have went any way there.
George Costanza.
Bailey is really good.
Yeah,
but Kazarian is really good too.
Yeah, because I made a note of the fact that I know how much you hate wrestlers that don't wear shoes. So that was my first notice
Yeah,
of
well,
Speedball.
number one, I just gave up on Riddle. Like he knows he needs to put shoes on so that he can figure it out. But Mike Bailey, you got to get some shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. He wears the kick guards, but no shoes. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it's I don't know. But he's really talented. His
Yeah, he is.
karate background or whatever it is,
Yeah.
Taekwondo, is
Taekwondo.
like he's really good.
And then a surprising move, they take the belt off of Bailey. Kaz goes over in this one.
But I think that's important. He's
Yeah.
someone that matters in the not independent scene, like smaller market scene.
Yeah.
He's like a legend, and giving him this title is special.
He is an Impact Wrestling legend. He is.
I think this is what his third time that he won the belt.
No, I think it's his fifth. It's his fifth reign. But have him take he's still under contract to AEW, so he can take, say, that belt to Ring of Honor, defend it there. Like it leads to so many opportunities. And now you can have a lot of the younger up and coming guys face Kazarian. And even if they don't beat him and put on a good show, it puts them over and it puts him in that, I guess,
I think it's pretty important to have like legend type wrestlers come in and do good work to help put people over, which another thing happens later. But
yeah,
I digress. Yeah, it was a good match.
It was a great opener. I think it was a good choice by and it was a submission too, which we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
So great match, and I look forward to where they're going to go with the X Division moving forward. Next match of the night was Mickie James versus Mia Yim. Stipulation is that if Mickie James loses, she's forced to retire. So, like we said, right away, we knew Mickie James is not losing this match.
Yeah,
especially the fact that we know Mia Yim's contract is done. Yeah,
I knew it. I mean, I don't think Mia Yim's going anywhere, but I think they're going to have to pay her a lot. Her contract was a really weird one. It was only for like 6 months.
Yeah, it was a short term. But I think she may be joining her husband. There's a lot of that going on right now. And like there's a whole situation with Andrade, and he wants out of his contract because
but it's like it's unhealthy for a relationship to be on the road every day with somebody. Like, because you're always with them in that wrestling situation. You're driving, you're busing, you're flying, you're never not at wrestling except for those like one day a month when you go home.
Yeah.
Or if the show happens to be wherever you live.
Exactly. Like, for example, if Braun Breaker and Cora Jade are dating?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they both work out of Orlando and they both live in Orlando. They're basically working home every day together. Like
those situations are like kind of okay because you're not driving around together all the time.
Yeah.
Like some of those wrestlers will tell you they had the show where they
ride along.
Yeah, and it's like they spend they'll drive for entire days sometimes together.
Yeah. Yeah, like what's his name? Uso and Naomi there. So, but as long as we get something out of it. But this was a fun match. I feel Mickie James has slowed down a little bit. It took her a quick minute to get back into the groove she used to have. And Mia Yim is just so good.
Mickie James is a legend, and like she felt a little like she was doing steps, like counting the beats, but it was still good. Mia Yim carried the match. She's amazing.
Yeah.
It was a good match. So far we're off to a solid start.
Yeah,
you got 3 good matches.
Yeah, and like you said, all these matches have had stakes, which goes into the next match, which is the Death Dolls of Havoc and Taya Valkyrie with Rosemary at ringside against Vexed of Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo. This was for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship match.
And it was a pretty good match. I know you have some qualms with this match, but I genuinely think like as a women's tag match, this was like one of the best you can get. Like maybe not the best match, but like women's tag matches are usually not very good.
No.
And
the talent that you have in this
Vexed is like arguably the most talented.
They're the FTR of
tag team you've ever
women's
seen.
Tag, yeah.
And by the way, 3 out of 5 women here are Canadian, and they're all legends like style type wrestlers at this point already. Chelsea Green is still young, and she's already like one of the best Canadian female wrestlers who ever wrestled.
And the only thing I had, like I said, you were saying about my issues. The only thing is, it's not that she just felt like she didn't belong in the match. Jessica Havoc.
Yeah, jungle fruit.
Jungle fruit. Yeah.
Jungle juice.
Jungle juice. Sure. Whatever you want to call her. Pink hair McGee.
She honestly though, she just reminded me of Dewdrop.
Yeah. But it's not that the reason why I say she doesn't belong is this woman, if you want her to be this powerhouse heel, you need to book her in a solo, just squashing people, destroying people, making her way up towards a match with the champion Jordynne Grace or whatever. This did not work because she's supposed to be this monster, and she, like you were saying on a previous one, you were saying she reminds you a little bit of the way Nikki AS acts too.
Yeah, because she's like very cartoonish and like bubbly, and it's weird because like in this match, like you said, okay, so you have a technical wrestler, a generally good wrestler, you have someone who's very like agile in the ring, athletic, and then you have her who's there to be like a power wrestler, but then she wasn't selling that ability at all.
Yeah. And I think that's where this match lacked a little bit.
If it was Rosemary, it would have been way stronger.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I think you said earlier, she might be injured. So
yeah, but if you go to the Impact website, it lists all three women as knockouts champs, knockout tag champs. So maybe they could freebird rules this, so all three can defend.
Who else did it?
The New Day. The New Day did it as well. So when the New Day were tag champs, they would interchange the three, and different people would defend it at a.
Was there ever a time when Kofi Kingston was not the guy?
No. I can't remember.
That's like
you knew if they were going to win, if Big E and Kofi were in the match. If Xavier Woods was with Kofi, then you knew it was a guaranteed loss.
That's so funny. If it was ever Big E and Xavier Woods, they would lose right away.
Yeah, but as soon as Xavier Woods is part of that trio, he's the one there getting the pin. But but I mean, with its qualms, it still wasn't a bad match. I was thoroughly enjoyed by this match.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah. Death Dolls actually go over. They get they're the new Knockouts Tag Champions.
Well, they're gonna get it back, I think, because Deonna Purrazzo needs belts.
Well, Deonna Purrazzo doesn't go in that championship division just yet. I think she has a good thing going.
They're holding off to let either, when we get there,
Mickey
Slamovich
James
or Jordynne Grace or maybe Mickey James be the people that are leading that division right now. They don't need Deonna. Deonna will just leave her in the tag thing. Let her have gold.
Let her dominate it. Yeah.
Just let her dominate everything. Who cares? Give her the men's championship too.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? They gave it to Tessa Blanchard. Why can't they give it to her?
Yeah.
But you don't want to take it away from her. Never mind. Next match is the tag team champion match against the Motor City Machine Guns, not the Motor Shitty Machine Guns, the Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh, really? It's almost like that happened.
Against the Kingdom of Matt Taven and Michael Bennett.
This was a good match. I really liked the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah. This is what tag team wrestling is about. The double team moves, the 2-on-1 moves, the quick tags with each other.
This is like base level tag team. And it's like, people always be like, oh, when you think of the greats, you're always naming the same people, and you were never talking about the new modern people. But it's like, when you see Motor City Machine Guns and when you see FTR, you think of like Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express and like
the Rockers,
Rockers, and everyone back then, the Steiner brothers, like they're like traditional tag teams that only wrestle tag teams. And that's the vibe you get from these guys.
Yeah, they've been doing it a long time, and they know each other where they're going to be at all times.
I mean, not so much at the Ric Flair event, but they were still kind of together for a while.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, where do the Machine Guns go from here? I know they're doing some stuff in Japan. Like, I'd love to see, like, say who's the FTR is the New Japan tag, right?
Yeah.
So they can do a match between those two.
Yeah,
who's the junior? Who's the junior?
The junior champions are Akira and that other guy.
Ooh, yeah. I'd like to see that.
What's the other guy's name? Giovanni something.
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember his name. But yeah,
Rocco's.
they're good. They're a good
Yeah.
tag team.
Yeah, that's right. We just saw them against Taguchi and
They
thing
just
and
popped. It's so funny because I think it was at Burning Spirit.
mm-hmm.
They just all of a sudden popped up as like being members of United Empire. I'm like, where
Yeah.
did this come
Where did
from?
these guys come from? Why are they? Yeah, that's very true, very true. But it was a very entertaining match. Like I said, good double team moves. Kingdom goes over, even though their contracts are done.
Yeah, but I know there's a spoiler.
Yeah, there is.
But I mean, I genuinely think that the Machine Guns are going to come back for the belts.
Yeah, I could see it. If you don't want to hear the spoiler, skip about 30 seconds to about a minute. If you hear us talking about the battle royal, you've gone too far. I'll probably leave it in the description box below. Spoiler is from this time to this time. So if you don't want a spoiler, leave now and come back. Heath and Rhino end up winning the tag team championships off the Kingdom,
which is a really strange choice.
Yeah. If you wanted to get the belt off of them, they should have had Motor City win this match.
Well, especially for how out of shape Rhino looks, which we'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah, but
like he looks terrible.
He looks rough. I think they're just going to be transitional champions just to have that
but
one
do
last.
Do you think this is to re-sign the Kingdom?
Maybe. Who knows? I think the Kingdom may be looking for an AEW/ROH kind of.
They want some bigger money.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, I think
Mike Bennett is really, really good. Mike Bennett is good. Matt Taven, he's all right, but not on that level. But yeah, if they come as a package, I could see it happening. If not, they may get a re-sign with Impact. All right. End of spoiler alert right there. Come back now. Thanks for rejoining if you didn't want to hear the spoilers. Up next, we have the Battle Royal match, which was a fun match. It was quick.
No, it was really fun. Every entrant brought something completely different.
Yeah.
The inclusion of women was really a fun thing here.
Yeah, because it could be anybody that wanted to. It's a call your shot gauntlet battle royal, so it can be for any championship. Could be the X division, could be the knockouts.
Is Money in the Bank for any title?
No, Money in the Bank is just for one title. Is for the heavyweight championship. It's for the title of your choosing of depending on the show. So, like for example, before when the titles were separate, if a SmackDown guy won the Money in the Bank, they'd challenge a SmackDown champion. If a Raw guy won the the Money in the Bank, they'd challenge the Raw champion. But now it's just if you win, you challenge Roman Reigns, as we saw with Austin Theory getting foiled every time.
Oh and yeah, it's going to continue to have. We haven't even heard from him.
I think this past Monday he had a match with Johnny Gargano on Raw.
Hey, that's a good match.
Yeah. But yeah. So the Battle Royal, the entrance in order were, and it was quick too. It's not like the Royal Rumble where it's 3 minutes.
Yeah, they came up pretty fast.
Yeah, it was. They got this done in like half an hour.
I think it was 1 minute.
Yeah, it was 60 seconds. You had Eric Young and Joe Henry start the match. Then you had Steve Macklin, Rich Swann, your Frankenstein buddy there. PCO.
Rich Swann was good.
Yeah, Rich Swann is really good. Can we
talk about PCO for a second? Like, he came in this match and just wrecked everything.
Yes. He literally even moves like a Frankenstein.
Is that why he's called PCO?
Pierre Carl Ouellette, yeah.
I thought it was something to do with Frankenstein.
No, he was PCO. He used to be part of Pierre Carl Ouellette. What were they called? They were a tag team with him and Sylvain Grenier. No, not the Quebecers. They were
the French Canadians.
Yeah, the Resistance, I think they were called.
Oh, the Resistance.
La Resistance. Yeah. But yeah, PCO was Pierre Carl Ouellette and Sylvain Grenier. They were tag champions.
He's really good, like for an older big guy like
he's
that.
What? He's got to be like what? Close to 60 now. 55, yeah. A lot of French Canadians on this show.
Just a lot of Canadians in this company.
Yeah. Scott D'Amore, he knows what he's doing with Canadian talent over there.
Did they ever? Was Ethan Page there?
Yeah, him and Josh Alexander were called the North.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They were tag. They were one of the most dominant tag champions they had.
Yeah, now this guy's wrecking stuff. And your boy's over there
getting lost
playing
in the
around.
mid card. But yeah, then you had Savannah Evans, and when she came in the ring, I thought, my God, this woman is huge. She's taller than some of the men in the
Yeah.
ring. And then you had Johnny Swinger. Johnny Swinger was my favorite. I liked him coming in. He came in with the little walker, but it was like a little ring, and then he takes off the fanny pack, like the gold fanny.
Wait, was it like? Is he supposed to be like a Macho Man?
Yeah, the way the Macho King came in with
Yeah,
the
yeah. But is it like his whole gimmick that he's like a pretend Macho Man?
yeah, or he's like he's a swinger, like a couple swinger kind of thing. He's always trying to get laid or something.
That's
But
nice.
yeah. Then you had Tasha Steelz, Killer Kelly, and
Killer Kelly's really good.
yeah,
I wish we got more of her in this match because she came in and just looked amazing and
Mhm.
then got taken out.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a feud because Tasha Steelz eliminated a few people, and I think there's going to be a Tasha Steelz Killer Kelly feud coming, and I'd like to see that. Then you had Moose, Sammy Callahan, who was eliminated by Diener, who wasn't in the match, so I think there's going to be something there.
Yeah.
Then you had a returning Taylor Wilde after a 10-year absence. Shout out to a York
Absolute
University.
legend.
Shout out to a
women's
York
wrestling.
University alum. Giselle
More
Shaw,
Canadians.
Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, Rhino. You got the ECW
You know what?
trifecta.
Hold on. Before we even talk about that, with Taylor Wilde,
Mhm.
there's 4 women just in this one pay-per-view that are potentially on the 10 greatest Canadian female wrestlers of all time list.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty crazy. Anyway,
not to mention the booker of the show in the women's division is Gail Kim, another Canadian legend.
arguably the greatest of all time. Okay, yeah, and then we got this ECW reunion, Tommy Dreamer, Rhino, Bully Ray. This moment was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
for me.
they do the little shield with the fist in the middle
when
of the ring.
When they all came out, first everyone was like ECW, but it was like a really lame chant.
Yeah.
Then when they did the fist bump thing, the whole crowd was like going nuts. ECW, and I was like, "Oh, this is sick."
Yeah, and then Johnny Swinger's like, "Yeah, guys, all right," because
I think he was there for a cup of
coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was and then right away they eliminate Johnny Swinger, which I thought was kind of funny. Then you had Bhupinder Gujar, Heath, then Bobby.
Wait, Bhupinder is really good.
Yeah. He's been having a feud with Brian Myers in the last little while, and I think he's going to take that belt off of Brian Myers. That's why when the final entrant was then you had Bobby Fish, Heath, Bobby Fish, and Matt Cardona, and that's why when Matt Cardona came in, he had that little tuft with Bhupinder. So I think that's going to be something, and then he's going to get another match.
Well, then we saw like the whole thing with Heath and Rhino.
Yeah, we got the little
moment,
the little
and then the spear on the other guy.
The gore.
But it's so funny because they're like, "Oh, Rhino pushed him out of the way to save him." I was like, "Did we watch the same thing?" I'm like, the other guy, Heath pushed
Rhino into
the guy. What the hell? Anyways, but yeah, there was some fun moments there, and I really liked Rich Swann. I didn't even know he had stuff like that.
Yeah. Bobby Fish, I was expecting
I expected him to come in. He's a big name in wrestling. I expected him to come in and wreck his way all the way to the main event scene. And when he didn't win this, I was like, okay, what's happening?
Yeah.
And then the chant, tell them what they chanted.
Oh, as soon as he came out, yeah, that's right. They instead of, because he's a hometown boy too, they started chanting CM Punk.
Yeah, and he was at home. He should have won this match. And they're like, no, like CM Punk.
Like his own hometown turned on him. But I think he was eliminated by Steve Macklin, who was one of the first guys in, and I think this is gonna lead to a feud between the two of them.
I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, I don't mind Steve.
Good. Hey, by the way, he doesn't have his theme song.
No, he doesn't.
So does that mean Kyle O'Reilly's gonna still have it?
Yes, I hope so.
Okay, at least I'll get to hear it more.
We'll get to hear the theme song more. Then what I liked, the last two people in the match were Bully Ray and Steve Macklin, and I found it as an interesting concept that the last two entrants, they have a match instead of trying to eliminate each other over the top rope. It's way better. It is. It's a better finish. We don't get that botched John Cena Batista finish.
You don't get the botched Vince McMahon.
The botched Vince quads in that match.
Like that. You can go back and watch that moment, and it's so funny. He's just like on the floor lying against the rope.
Yeah, restart the match, restart. And then they had to like carry him out of the ring. But you could see the moment too. He tears his quads, but he keeps going.
Yeah, he's such a he was a very big guy at that
He was
point.
a beast, that man. But yeah, and then in the end, Bully Ray goes over. He wins that little dollar store trophy.
That's huge though, because his name is
Carries
good.
weight.
It carries weight. He's a legend,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in Impact,
Yeah, for
he's
sure.
he's one of the greatest Impact wrestlers of all time. He won the title three times, I
Three
think, right?
times. But I mean, he's one of the greatest Impact wrestlers. But then again, he's also one of the greatest tag team wrestlers.
Tag team. Okay, we all know I picked him as my number one tag team.
Yes.
So,
But what I'm saying too is that it's rare. That only comes along like someone like a Bret Hart or a Shawn Michaels have ever been a great tag team wrestler and then go on to have an excellent solos career.
Kenneth Omega. But that
Another one
tag
there.
team,
The Golden Showers.
that's arguably, I'm not even gonna bullshit it. After you've seen what they've done in their individual careers
Yeah.
and the skills they have, that could have been the greatest tag team of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. There's an argument for that.
Because like solo, they're both like top tier
legends.
Like Ibushi would be the champion right now if he didn't keep getting injured.
Yeah, he's unreliable.
He's their guy that they want to keep plastered. Well, I know it's Okada, but
yeah, now it's Okada.
Second choice.
But yeah, it was a fun. I like the way it ended. I like what's going to happen later in the show, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But up next, we had probably one of the greatest women's matches I've seen in a long time. Jordynne Grace against Masha Slamovich. Oh my God, this match.
Can we make a category in the awards show that we're going to do of best women's match?
So we'll do match of the year men's and match of the year women's.
I think we should do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll add that category in. Good call on that one.
Because now rethinking about this, maybe possibly have talking about it multiple times now.
Mm-hmm.
It like I had a smile on my face for this whole match.
Yeah.
Whoever Masha Slamovich is, I don't care. I'm happy that I discovered her.
Yeah.
Because she's so amazing. Like so stupidly good. This like, oh my God. And then Jordynne Grace has just like improved.
Yeah. And she's like, and I would say too, I've been watching Jordynne Grace's career, and when she started to where she is now, she's still a powerhouse, but she's leaned down. She's all muscle. She is one tough lady. Like this is a girl you do not want to mess with.
She will punch your face off your face.
Yeah. And rip your face off
and
after that.
Eat it.
She will literally rip it and punch it.
I want to see her just beat up Jungle Juice just for my own personal satisfaction.
Jungle Juice. But yeah, Jungle Juice aside, this match was absolutely fantastic,
and it was good, and it was long,
but it wasn't.
It was New Japan-ish in its turn.
But it didn't go on too long though.
No,
it was just the right amount of long.
It was the good kind of long where you had time to tell the story of one person is defeating or really like taking advantage of the other one.
Yeah,
and then there's a slow turn, and I thought, oh my God, there's going to be a new champion, and it's going to be done in this epic way, and then boom, right into that off the top rope.
Yeah.
Oh man,
driver, whatever that is. Yeah,
he took the bump harder than Slamovich did. I'll tell you that.
Yes, but it was still like. And there was a point in the match where I didn't even realize I forgot that I was watching women wrestling, and I was just enjoying the in-ring action.
I think at this point, that's where we live. In this is like the proper way if you watch wrestling to just enjoy it as that.
Yeah.
Because it's just more wrestling. And if the product is good, it's good. I understand that people get bogged down because the thing you see the most is WWE.
Right.
And
that's
a majority of the WWE female wrestlers, even in this day and age, still can't wrestle.
Yeah.
And it kind of gets in the way. But like AEW is putting on a good product.
Yep.
I'm really excited to see New Japan put their stuff in the forefront with the women's.
And what
division.
we were saying too is the fact what Impact does right is yes, the story, they tell a story to get to that match, but the match is the focal point, not the story. Like they
Yeah,
let the in-ring action speak for itself. They don't
this
let
women's roster on Impact is so stacked.
it's so deep.
It's insane. So you had a match at the beginning with two great wrestlers. One of them's a legend. Okay. Then you had five women come out in a tag team match with someone on the side of the ring, where
Yep.
four of those five are fantastic wrestlers. And then
Jungle
you had
Juice.
this match where it's
Yeah.
like, holy, you know what? Jungle Juice is better than half of the WWE
Yeah.
roster. So,
I think, yeah, I'll take Jungle Juice over Dewdrop.
and Nikki ASH.
Yeah. But I'll take her over
And most of the NXT women.
Nikita Lyons there.
Yeah. Nikita Lyons is just there to wear that outfit.
Yeah.
And do the splits.
And
because,
do the splits. Yeah.
Like, it's not that she's not talented. She's not a wrestler.
No. She's a musician, isn't she?
I don't even know what she is, but they're always like, oh, she's been wrestling since she was a child. I'm like, it does not show.
No.
You know who's been wrestling since they were a child? Toni Storm, and she's friggin' amazing.
Zoe Stark, even.
Yeah, like I digress.
Taz. But yeah, like this roster, and not on top of that, they lost so much. They lost to Neil Dashwood. They're on the verge of losing me.
Oh yeah, I forgot they lost to Neil Dashwood, and they lost the Iconics or whatever. What were they
the
called?
Inspiration, they were called there. And they're on the verge of losing Mia Yim, and yet this roster is still stacked with great female talent.
It's insane. Like and just like
and not so much female talent that you have to put one of your greatest in a tag team.
Yeah. Okay. So I got two things. Like, not in a disrespectful way. Jordynne Grace is not a big name yet.
No.
Is she great in the ring? Absolutely, but she's not. But Deonna Purrazzo deserves WWE money. And I think personally, she's never going to go back there because of what they did to her.
Kind of like what happened with Gail Kim.
Yeah. And Gail Kim must be really comforting to work with, having seen all the bullshit that the business comes, being in an era where just not being what Vince McMahon was looking for sexually was not going to get you.
And in turn, that ended up biting him in the ass, because we know what happened there, right?
Great. She's great.
Yeah.
Gail Kim is great.
Yeah. And when we got to revisit that Canadian list, and Gail Kim is definitely going to be on the greatest Canadian female, probably the greatest.
We're going to make a female list for Canada Day.
Yeah, that's coming next year. That's coming
100%. And then if we get to the next one and we're not dead yet, we'll do tag teams.
We'll do tag teams if we're not dead yet. I'm getting there. I'm getting a little old. When I'm wearing shirts from the 70s, it's
hey, I kind of am too.
Yeah, so. You kind of hurt too. But yeah, it's like Jordynne Grace goes over that finishing spot. Like, Jordynne Grace is going to be feeling that for a week.
But it was just like, that was true in-ring storytelling to me.
Yeah. They left
it all on the table, and I want to see a rematch of this.
Absolutely. This ended Slamovich's undefeated streak.
Well, I think that is really good.
But that's the way to do it. They've booked themselves in a corner with Cargill in AEW. That who's going to beat her now?
I think your only option is Nyla Rose.
Nyla Rose,
who is the proper way to book a big heel powerhouse
monster? Yeah,
not like Jungle Jams.
Jungle Jams. Her name changes every time.
I don't even remember what her name is anymore. You say it like 5 times already.
Jessica Havoc.
But I digress.
Taz.
I've said that less times in this video than Taz has the entire time. Which I'll tell you a story at the end of this. But
Jordynne Grace goes over. Great little like ending to it. After that,
but it's good. Jordynne Grace taking her undefeated streak makes her look like a deserving champion.
Yeah.
But now what you do is you bring a rematch and you let Slamovich win the title.
Yeah.
And then it gives her back her credibility. And now they both look like monsters.
Yeah. The last time you beat me was a fluke. I know I can beat you, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's all you got to do to tell the story there. And after such a high like that, I was hoping that the next match wouldn't be a letdown. And God is my witness, I was not let down by this match. This was another.
What match was this?
The main event.
Oh yeah, this is like this match is like was a good match.
Josh Alexander against Eddie Edwards for the Impact World Championship. I noticed two that both wrestlers have two first names.
That's true.
But
Jason
this,
Alexander
yeah,
and the other
and
one,
Cosmo Kramer.
Cosmo Kramer. Nice.
But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this match. This was a great. They had hard hitting moves. They had great in-ring moves. They had great technical moves. They had great submission moves. Like this match literally had everything in it. Like, and they left it all out there. Like, it was such a good match.
It was a great match.
A little too long.
Yeah, it did get a little too long, and it got a little bit repetitive at spots, but the turn of offense worked really well. Josh Alexander is so good. Like, I don't know how he's not on the PWI top 10. If he's not number 11, I'm going to be very upset.
We'll
and
riot.
If he's not in the top 10 next year,
we're going to riot. That's it. We're going to find Dave Meltzer and
okay, this guy is like if
Kurt Angle.
Like nothing we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like Kurt Angle and Rick Steiner had a baby.
Yeah. Basically,
he's so agile. He can do so much in the ring. He can do submission. He can do
power moves. Yeah.
Some of his power stuff in this match really caught me off guard. I did not know he had strength like that.
And athleticism too. Like the man is agile. He's quick. You could tell that he's trained with Lance Storm.
And he's like a Stone Cold level of not maybe like in talking, but as a character where he doesn't need anyone else. I don't need backup. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do it on my own.
Yeah, because when he was in the tag team with Ethan Page, when they were the North, he was the secondary character and Ethan Page was the star. But now it's like Alexander is just like on another level.
Yeah, he's a huge star.
Yeah, and
I hope he stays in Impact.
Oh yeah, it's a good.
He deserves money.
Then we have a little. Interference by the Kingdom. Honor No More comes out. They try to do a beatdown, but security has none of that. They kick him out almost immediately. And
Josh Alexander fought them off.
Yeah.
Like no BS. He looked like a beast, and I'm appreciated every moment of that.
Yeah.
Every moment of this match, except for it being slightly too long and a screaming baby for the last 10 minutes of the match.
I had to deal with that
in the microphone.
Yeah, I had to deal with that all weekend. So,
I mean, including this match.
Yeah, exactly. So I literally had to deal with this all weekend. The only time I didn't have to deal with it was when I was with my Uncle Frank, because there's but
it's a fun time at Frank's house.
Always a good time at Uncle Frank's. But have a good time at Uncle Johnny's too. But great story. So I'll send you the video later, Campo. My little 2-year-old nephew, my sister's kid. I got him. I turned to him. I go, "What does Ric Flair do?" Woo!
No.
I'll send you the video. I go, start him early. I go. So now I go, "What does Ric Flair do?" He goes, "Woo."
That's perfect. I like it. Get him a shirt.
And then Fabio's kid, when we were watching the Ishii Eddie Kingston match, he's just over a year old. So you know how Ishii walks hunched over with no neck? So I started walking like that around my parents' house, and this kid is like doing the same thing.
He's already an Ishii fan.
already an Ishii fan. So we got this. I took that meme that you posted last week about me in my 20s or me in my 30s hanging with people in my 20s. So I put me in my 60s hanging with my 20-year-old nephews at a wrestling event.
Yeah, that's gonna be you actually.
With the long white Gandalf beard, just hanging with my nephews.
You're gonna look like Gandalf.
A little less hair, but yeah. But yeah, off topic. I digress. To quote a line.
I digress, Taz.
Yeah, at one point, Edwards gave Josh the Boston knee party and like busted his nose. And when he busted his nose, it gave me that Steve Austin, Bret Hart vibes. When Bret Hart was like, when he put Austin in the sharpshooter and he wouldn't give up and he's bleeding. And you just see the tenacity on Josh Alexander's face, busted nose, there's blood everywhere. Like, and he's just like, come on, bring it on. Like it really solidified, not just as a great champion, but as a top main eventer star. Like, this really did a lot for Josh Alexander and beating like a legend in his own right, and Eddie Edwards too.
Yeah.
But
Not the
after
greatest in the ring, but he, as a wrestler in general, he is pretty
he's
legendary.
got a lot of accolades. But yeah, and then we get the post match beat down by Honor No More at the end of the match. They start beating him. Some random guy, I forgot who it was, and Heath come out and try to do the save, but they get beaten up. And then we hear Bully Ray's music, and Bully Ray comes out, and
I
he
knew
hands
something was going to happen. I
yeah
was waiting for music.
he hands the ref the trophy, and Honor No More is like, "Go ahead, man. He's yours for the taking. Go
Oh,
ahead."
by the way, there was a table set up in the
Oh
ring.
yeah. Yes, there was a table set up in the ring. And that's when and Josh Alexander is like, fine, if you're gonna do it, let's go. And he's ready to go at it again. And they both turn around and just
Yeah,
start
that was an
beating
epic moment. Right when
yeah,
they stared each other down for like a solid minute and then just
yeah,
both turned and they just effed them up and it was so good.
yeah. It
I
was a
was I was
great
hoping
moment.
for like a get the tables moment, but there was already
Yeah.
a table in the ring.
But they did that spot in they did the get the table spot in the gauntlet match with
Yeah,
Taylor Wilde.
Taylor Wilde.
They did the whole he's like he did the whole what's up thing, and she did the headbutt in the guy's crotch and all that. So they did that spot. They just didn't do the table spot. We got the table spot here. And yeah, they just beat the shit out of Honor No More. It was a great then they have that little stare down. Bully Ray is holding the belt and he gives it to Josh and he's like, it's like it was a great show of respect, but I'm coming. He's like, you know who I am. You know who I am. And he's like, I know who you are. I know who you are. And he's like, he did the whole you got to step your game up if you're going to face me. I'm really excited to see this match. They made a point too that every person who's won the Call Your Shot Gauntlet has gone on to win the championship. I think this will be the first time
And I
someone's
think
going to lose it.
it should be like that because this is the right guy to help continue putting Josh over.
If he beats a legend like Bully Ray, who's
Who
not
clearly still
only
has it.
yes, he still has it, who's not just a singles legend but a tag team legend. It's very rare that
And the best, like up there in the best punches in the game of all time.
yes,
Like I know everyone says Scott Hall, but his punches look good. Whenever you get that little stomp going that makes the
yeah,
noise, I really like that.
and he's the only one that can do the dusty roll.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you know what? Shingo's a good puncher too.
Yes, but Bully
But I
Ray's the only one that
digress.
can. Bully Ray's the only one that can do the little dusty roll.
Yeah, he's Bubba Ray, Bully Ray, whatever. He's
Yeah,
good.
he's one of the best. Like I said earlier, too. It's like he's one of those rare. He's a legendary tag team wrestler, but he's also a fantastic solo competitor. You only get that once in a while with Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels, or it's rare that you get something like that. And
Yeah.
I was thoroughly entertained by this show. It's a match I want to see. If Josh Alexander gets that win over Bully Ray, it just cements him as one of the greatest Impact champions of all time.
Yeah.
And like I said, Scott D'Amore running that company knows how to put over Canadian talent.
There's like in the grand scheme of wrestling, when you go by like ratio percentages, Canada is probably like the highest percent of like wrestlers that become top tier compared to other countries.
Three of the greatest wrestlers of all time are Canadian, and Bret Hart, Chris Jericho, and Kenny Omega.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to tell me anything else.
Right?
Roddy Piper.
Piper.
They're the percentages like that are coming out are not very high, and the ones that you do have are so good. Like so good. So I mean, like Japanese, Mexican, USA, there's a better wrestlers maybe than Canadians, but there's so many of them that it's
you get the shitty ones in there too.
Yeah, like the percentage for Americans is like 1%.
For every Stone Cold that's out there, you get 3 almostes.
For every one Stone Cold that's out there, you get like 100 shitty wrestlers. Yeah. Period.
But like I said, I'm looking forward to where they're going to go with this. I think that match needs to be like a cage match, or right. Like, what do you think that match should be?
Hardcore, like just all weapons,
like a street fight kind of. Oh, they have what's that match that they have that it's like a cage match. It's like a Hell in a Cell, but they have the weapons hanging from the.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember.
Yeah, but that's the type of match that they need to have.
Isn't that the one that had a fish?
Yes, it was. Not Bobby.
Yeah, and that was Bully Ray in that match. I used
Yep.
the fish.
Yes. But yeah, I think that would be a great match to have. Overall, what'd you think of the show? What'd you give it? What was your match of the
Okay,
night?
well, first of all, this is a good pay-per-view in general.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was looking at my ratings, and I think it was better than SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say 7.3.
We tied again, my friend. I gave it a 7.3 as well.
It was
It
like
was
it was
on
good.
that level of that Ric Flair. Ric Flair was a little bit better to me,
But Ric
but I
Flair
gave that
had more matches,
yeah,
and they were all just as good as these ones were,
yeah, I
except the
think
Ric
so.
Flair match.
But yeah, it was a thoroughly enjoyable show. I really had a lot of fun. It kept me entertained. The wrestling was the wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't take
Yeah, it was just well planned out. Like
yeah,
everything worked out. The matches were well like
executed.
choreographed, like
Yeah,
execution was solid. They don't there's no frills, there's no nonsense here. It's just wrestling. They know people are here to watch wrestling.
yeah.
Just give them the product
And
they
I think
want.
this is the closest we'll get to a national Canadian promotion. That's
Yeah,
not really a Canadian promotion,
I
but that
know.
puts over Canadian talent.
Mike Bailey, Josh Alexander, all those women we said, like
PCO.
yeah, PCO. There's more than that.
Yeah.
If you go deep. But yeah, I mean, okay, so I don't think there was a worse match.
No, I mean, I if I had to give it to, I give it to the Jungle Juice there.
But that still wasn't bad.
No, it still
As far
wasn't a
as
bad
women's
match.
tag goes, that was a pretty good match.
Yeah. It just
Um,
she felt out of place in that match. That's all.
agreed.
Match of the night?
Jordynne Grace against Slamovich.
Yeah, hands down. Like, I mean, that was
I mean, okay, Josh Alexander match was pretty close.
yes. If the Josh Alexander match was a little bit shorter, then maybe because it was a long match and then they tacked on that whole beatdown at the end, right? They could have taken away maybe 5-6 minutes from the match, then add the beatdown. That would have been a perfect ending. But just the way they move, the way, like I said earlier in this recording, that I just blocked out my mind that it was just that it was women wrestling, and I just was enjoying the wrestling that was happening in the ring, whether it was female or male. I didn't care at that point. That's what I need to feel from wrestling, and I think that's why I gave it the match of the night as well, for sure.
Well, we had
100%.
back-to-back female matches of the night.
Yeah, we did too. That's right. Even our last night too was the ladder match between Bailey and
But
Bianca.
there was no bad match here.
No.
This pay-per-view was a significant step up from
Yes.
Extreme
From
Rules.
yes, absolutely. It was.
There
It
was
was
no extreme matches in this pay-per-view, but it felt more raw and hardcore than the WWE one did.
yeah. I think, like we said too, there were stakes involved in all the matches. Every match had some stipulation tied to it that they were heavy stakes, and I think that's what WWE suffers from as well. Was in Extreme Rules there was not a single title match except the women's title matches,
And this was almost all title matches.
yeah,
And
exactly. And even the one match that was not a title match, that not including the gauntlet match, but the Mickey James had a heavy stipulation to it too.
yeah. And then, I mean, like, okay, more belts. That's all you need is more belts.
Yeah. We're going to get t-shirts made, belts and more belts and more
and more
belts and more
belts and more
belts.
belts
Yeah.
and more
Trademarked.
belts. Yes, trademarked. And then there'll be a Muscles Marinara shirt.
Yeah. Just caps going like this.
It's just to get someone dumping sauce on him.
No, he's flexing, but he has a jar of tomato sauce flexing.
I like it. He's crushing the jar of tomato sauce.
He's crushing the tomatoes, making sauce.
Oh my gosh. There's like a tomato. Okay.
He's like this. He's crushing tomatoes.
We've gone too far. I digress. The test.
In the bicep, we put images of tomatoes.
I gotta say this. There's a Battle of the Belts. Excalibur made a joke about him saying "I digress" so much. He was like, "I digress, right, Taz?" right? And it was like, oh my God. I was like, that's so good.
I really enjoy Taz and Excalibur working together. They've really found their stride. They've really like anytime they like show like they show it on Botchamania, even though it's not botches, but they show like they just love to have fun with each other. And Taz adds that dynamic to the commentary.
He's got way better. And on those B shows, they just F around. On those extreme rules. On Dark, they just goof
and
around.
Elevation.
If you ever get an episode where Jericho, Excalibur, and Taz are all together on a Dark episode, it's like a goof fest, and it's so funny. And you have on the shows like those four main announcers, Shivani, Jim Ross. Like Jim Ross is he's just there to say listen whenever the Acclaimed come out, but Taz and Excalibur, they're great together. And then constantly having Jericho and
William Regal
at the table is crazy. The amount of experience those guys have and the history they have together,
and the stories that they can tell.
Things. Like they're from the crazy days of wrestling where like all this nonsense happened, and it's like he's the last surviving member of the Heart Dungeon. So I mean, there's so much goodness going on with that announcing. That was the smartest thing AEW did, was put together the right people at the announce table. Yeah. And your boy Riccaboni is dope at the table too.
Rick Macaroni.
The other guy's kind of new.
Yeah.
The
you can hear it.
Guy. But what's his name? It's Ian Riccaboni, right?
Ian Riccaboni, yeah.
He's
Ian Macaroni. Good. Rick Macaroni.
I like him.
Yeah, he's good.
But them all together is fun. It's so fun. And if you could have Kevin Kelly there all the time.
Yeah. Well, whenever they do the New Japan crossovers, look, Kevin Kelly doesn't even need a partner. That's how good he is.
I know. He's done entire, you can go look for it on New Japan World. There's entire like 6-hour-long pay-per-views where he's the only announcer. Only announcer. And I have a story, but we'll save that for
another show.
But anyways, back to what I was saying. Mm-hmm. New Japan has a new belt.
Yes.
It's ugly as hell, but it's like the Digital Media Championship. That's basically what it is. It's a TV title. And it has YouTube logos on the side.
And there's also a women's championship coming up too.
Yeah. So, and the AEW, we're expecting to get the female or the women's tag. It's going to come.
Yeah.
But I mean, more belts. Give me reasons to watch your shows.
Yeah.
Make it entertaining. I don't want a feud for the 400th time.
And don't put all your belts on one faction
because he's stupid. You are stupid. That is why your wife left you.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not just going to beat you up. I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah, cool. Go one-on-one with Josh Alexander and let's see how you turn out.
Let's see how you do that.
That guy did it in front of his whole family at ringside. He's beat the crap out of everybody. Eddie Edwards' wife is hot, though.
Alicia.
Who's the guy from the Battle Royale that had like all those goons come out for him? Eric Young?
Eric Young, yeah. Violent by Design.
Yeah, what's that all about?
That's the I got an itch. That's the faction that he has together with. That's where Diener is involved. They have a feud going on with Sammy, who's Jungle Juice's husband.
Oh, you know what? Oh gosh, you know what we need actually? Just since we're talking about tags, husbands. Sorry, a mixed tag.
Yeah.
In Mexico, Jordynne Grace and
Gresham.
Jonathan Gresham against Sammy Guevara, and
a loser has to stay in Mexico.
Yeah, just destroy them. Like just destroy, like two huge muscle beasts against friggin' the skimpy dudes, and just destroy them. I hate Sammy Guevara.
Jonathan Gresham wearing his octopus mask, just eating off the bones of Sam.
Yeah. You know what? If it comes down to it, I know we're off topic, but if it comes down to it, I would any day of the week rather have Andrade than Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
Especially because with Andrade, you get Roosh.
Yep. And Sammy Guevara is just a dick at this point. He's proven it that he's the one that instigates.
But there's multiple other stories from behind the scenes that he's like a prima donna that just goes around talking shit to people.
Because he has the backing of Jericho, right? So he thinks he can do whatever he wants.
But Jericho doesn't have your back in real life like that. This is kayfabe. Like, shut up. Like, get out of here.
Jericho did him a favor by putting him in the JAS just so he'd shut up.
Yeah, he has the ability to maybe one day be a main eventer. But at this point, he's not, and I'm not keeping him on my roster.
He needs to stay in the Indies for a good 4 or 5 years and mature a bit.
Send him on excursion to Japan.
Yeah. Let him get the shit beaten out of him out there.
Yeah, put him in Noah, where they're just gonna strong style his ass the whole time.
He's gonna cry.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us on another wrestling review. Stay tuned next week where we'll have not a review, but kind of a review.
But it will have a ranking that will go on our review scores.
Yes, there will be. So make sure, like I said, if you guys enjoy the wrestling reviews, make sure you tell all your friends. Let's share this. Let's get up to 250 before the end of the year. And with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.